No sooner than the man disadvantage was revealed, Team W scores yet another goal and take the lead, 4-3. The entire Team Z is shocked and confused as to what they must do now, and they have very little time to score the next goal. Team V are already runaway winners of the group, so if they want to keep their hopes of Blue Lock alive, Team Z had to score and at least draw the game before the game ended. There was another problem, however, with Kuon defecting to the other team. All of their tactics were revealed. Even with Isagi's spatial awareness, he can't do anything since all the movement of his team members are blocked. Kuon takes the ball away yet again, and this time fires another shot. Thankfully, Lemon stops the goal from happening. But Team W was in total control at the moment. With 5 more minutes to go, Team Z was looking like they were headed out of Blue Lock, never to achieve their dreams. Chigiri gets frustrated at himself. He remembers the time back in his childhood when he used to have that hunger in him as a striker. When he was younger, the Wanima brothers arrived at his school claiming to be the next hotshots in football, so he had to show them, with his skills, how he was superior to them. His speed was something else, and his close control made him a formidable force. While the Wanima brothers couldn't even make the starting lineup, Chigiri was in his prime. He felt he could beat the world. However, the day came that he suffered an ACL tear, a dangerous, potentially career-ending injury for a football player to face. Chigiri was devastated and put to rehabilitation for several months. Since he was still young, he would recover, but the doctors told him that if there was a similar injury again, he would probably never be able to play again. These words got to Chigiri's head, and ever since he was never able to use his full speed. It was as if he had shackles holding him down, put there by his own mind. The 5 remaining minutes of regular time are up, and a final 3 minutes are added. It was now or never. Isagi has the ball, but has no one to pass to. In a desperate attempt to score, he goes in by himself, pushing a frozen Chigiri and tries to score, but fails. Chigiri is irritated, but realizes that Isagi is just like he used to be, believing that he can be the best in the world and putting everything into football. Suddenly, the fire comes back to him. If in the next few minutes he couldn't do something, his journey in football would be over. And deep within, he did not want that to happen. Chigiri suddenly makes a run, and Isagi notices and makes a long pass towards the goal line. At this moment, the whole Team W is confident that this is just a wasted effort, but their eyes widen when they see Chigiri racing towards the ball. Even as the keeper is about to get it, he manages to get a toe on it and score the goal in the very final moments. The game is tied and the final whistle blows. Elsewhere, Team V has had another comprehensive 5-2 victory. The entire Team W is pissed at Kuon and starts beating him up for not revealing that Chigiri had gotten over his leg problem. Even though Kuon repeatedly states that he didn't know anything about it, they just pile over him until they are stopped by Isagi. After the game though, Kuon still hasn't changed. He's already in the room of Team V, making the same offer that he made to Team W, to let him score against them, and he would reveal all the strategies of Team Z. Unluckily for him, Team V is not a scummy bunch. They're confident in their own tactics and don't need to be told what to do and how to do it. The next team meeting starts off with bad news. Team W had drawn their game with Team Y. With both the teams now drawn level on points, and Team Z with a really bad goal difference, they had to win against Team V in order to qualify, which by itself is a daunting task. Not only was their team a man down now, but Team V was also ruthless with their goal-scoring ability. Kuon still refuses to be part of the team. He's already the top scorer and doesn't need to participate. If Team Z loses, he still gets selected just like that. Lemon explains that the strongest players from Team V, the Deadly Trio, had scored 18 goals in 3 games already. Zantetsu Tsurugi has 5 goals. Reo Mikage managed to score 6 goals. And Seishiro Nagi was running away with it, 7 goals in 3 games. If they don't stop them, they can't win. In the Team V locker room, Nagi is back from training way earlier than the rest of his team. He explains that he just doesn't need to train that much, and Mikage knows that this is true. Only 6 months ago, Mikage, the son of a really rich businessman, was studying in a really good school. He was good at everything and had everything he wished for, but he enjoyed nothing. One day, he stumbled upon football, a sport that thrilled him. However, his once supportive parents were not okay with him being a football player. Since he had started so late, there was no chance he could make it pro. Mikage had to prove his parents wrong. He then stumbled upon the potential greatest football genius he had ever seen, Nagi, a man with such control that he could catch a falling cell phone on his foot. However, the man had no interest in football and wanted to live a slacker's life. Mikage promises to give him a chill life if he becomes the best footballer ever, with him. Back in Team Z's dressing room, Kuon is still, without question, going to be useless in the next game, so they need to work with what they have at hand. Ego then shows up on the screen and shows the new rankings. Even though Kuon practically cheated, he was still number 1 in the rankings. And if they lose and none of them score more goals than him, he would stay in Blue Lock while the rest of them are eliminated. Ego states that all their goals until now have been good, but unless they can replicate those goals, it would all be considered luck. They must examine how, when, and under what conditions their weapon made the difference in their victory. Only when they have mastered repeatability can they advance. They should play the game as though they are destined to win, rather than depending on chance to do so. Isagi is frustrated and heads straight to the practice field. He sees Bado of Team X. The man had already scored 10 goals, and since he was the top scorer in the entire building, he had already qualified. Isagi tries to see if he can learn something from Bado, but the man is in no mood for Isagi. Instead, the two start going one-on-one. Bado muscles his way through Isagi and scores a screamer from 23 meters out into the top corner. They go again, despite Bado being reluctant. And yet again, Bado scores another screamer. But this time, Isagi realizes that Bado has perfected his technique. This is what he needed to learn as well. He knew now that Bado could score from 23 meters if he was given the chance, so he decides to restrict him from getting into that range. However, Bado again surprises him by scoring a 27-meter screamer. Never reveal your ultimate skill. Isagi thanks Bado for helping him, even though all Bado did was humiliate him. The game then begins the next day, and Team Z is surprisingly well prepared. They manage to avoid letting Mikage and Nagi dribble past them, and prevent Zantetsu from getting into his long-range shooting. Isagi then gets the ball, and plays a long ball toward Gagamaru, who makes a shot, and misses, barely. They are all fired up, until the ball lands at Mikage's feet. He glances once at Nagi, and launches a ball toward the goal, a ball so overplayed that the whole Team Z lets it go. But Nagi doesn't give it up. He ends up scoring a brilliant goal out of nowhere. That was the difference in class between the two teams. Team Z tries to shake it off and start an attack, but again, the ball is stolen away and finds its way to Nagi. This time, the guy is surrounded though. Surely he couldn't score, is what everyone thinks. But he surprises everyone, yet again, by pulling off a bicycle kick out of nowhere. It was all too easy for a genius like him. 2-0 down, and this time, Isagi tries to release Chigiri, their new secret weapon. But it turns out that Zantetsu is as fast as Chigiri and can cover all his moves. The man swipes the ball from Chigiri and launches a counter, scoring a phenomenal goal from far out. Team Z is devastated. They seem to have lost even before the first half was over. Their chance of victory was wearing thin, and so was the enthusiasm of the entire team. Everyone is disappointed, but Bachida is pumped up. He's excited that he's facing such an incredible team and wants to show that he can do incredible things too. Since only something magical could turn their games now, he decides to show off his hidden potential as the monster inside of him screams. Bachida gets the ball from Isagi and dribbles past everyone on the field. He amazes even the opponents with his skills and scores with a Rabona in this pressure situation. The team finally gets pumped up again. They know now that all they have to do was go above and beyond their limits and play like there was no second chance and find their true hidden ability. The ball then goes to Kunigami, and he knows that he can score if he gets the ball in a 23-meter range. But the area before him is crowded, and he has to take the shot now. He decides to trust his abilities and shoots from 28 meters out. The ball whizzes past the defenders and turns at the very last moment and enters the net, making the score 3-2. Heading into the second half, Team Z is still in the game with the score at 3-2. They are confident that they can win, and so is Team V. Team V decides to continue their attack, but the defense will be increased by one more player, with Zantetsu dropping back. The second half begins, and Isagi is the only one who hasn't really gotten a grip on the game yet. While all of his teammates are making brilliant blocks, saving the shots from entering their goal, he is still unsure if he can ever score and go beyond his limitations. The ball then reaches Chigiri, and Zantetsu is his marking man. Chigiri realizes that he cannot beat Zantetsu in a foot race in a short distance, since his ability is boosted by acceleration. So Chigiri makes a 10-meter pass ahead to himself, knowing that at the longer distance he can beat the man. He does just that, then races past the defenders, scoring the equalizing goal for his team. The score was 3-3. And just like Japan in this World Cup, coming together and equalizing in the second half, this game is not over. Thank you for sticking until the end. Subscribe for more videos like this.